one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Any additions, corrections? If none, we'll move on to approving the minutes, September 16th Board of Supervisors meeting. Accounts payable presented and the treasurer's report.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
You guys have any questions on accounts payable?
I did not.
I got mine answered.
Any other discussion?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was gonna introduce Kat to you guys if you haven't met her. This is our new accounts payable administrative assistant, so she'll be kind of shadowing me and then taking over.
Nice to meet you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. She had handwritten also, or is that it?
Yes, I will have it handwritten.
Okay.
It's not ready yet, so I'm still waiting on the invoice from Glenwood Water.
Sure. Those are online too, Katie.
I don't have access to those accounts for the spreadsheet.
I can get you the.
Probably be better to get Kat in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you guys.
I
I'll pop over after me.
would make a motion to approve the Knights of Columbus Class C alcohol license.
I will second that motion. We have a motion and a second to approve the Knights of Columbus Class C alcohol license. Is there any discussion? Just a year long? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Jack?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Public comments.
Oh, sure, why not?
Come on, let's hear it.
I see a item down there for purchasing more computers. I just want to make sure Patrick says that they're absolutely essential and that 2-year-old computers is not old computers in my estimation. So just want to make sure the expenditure is justified.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Well, I would comment and agree with that. And in addition, I see that the treasurer's office is looking for formal action to hire a universal clerk. I don't know whether that was budgeted or not, but I was thinking that I recall that the treasurer's office is closed over the lunch hours. That seems like a scheduling, issue to be able to meet the needs of our community. So, yeah, hopefully I'll hear some good discussion about those kind of things.
Sure. And if you want to talk about her office being closed or anything personal like that, not personal, but anything like that, feel free to go visit with her. She's an elected official also, so it's her office. So
Sure, I understand, but you guys, as I said, hold the golden pin, so.
for the person policy. Okay, any other public comment?
Okay.
Excuse me?
So I think you guys are responsible for the pin, for our budget.
Person policy, yes. Yeah. Any other public comment? Okay, supervisor updates. Last week I had a GMU meeting. We're gonna move forward with a $4 million design on a new wastewater plant. So that was interesting. I had a map of finance committee meeting. Again, we just paid some bills. And then we had a juvenile detention meeting where we went over our fiscal year will be ending June 30, end of June. So we have a surplus in our budget. So we're going to be returning some money back to the counties. Those County will be getting back about $39,000 in what they sent you, Amber. So about $40,000 that'll go back into the general fund. That's all I had.
Just a quick question, like with GMU, is the $4 million just the design aspect of it, or is that the full wastewater treatment facility?
Design. No, the whole facility is going to be around 50 million.
Okay. For my
Jake will
He'll talk about it some.
He can,
You can pester me with all the questions you want.
I might
he can
have.
answer, yeah, you can answer any questions you might be able to answer any questions. you
I'll
have.
try.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Last week I only had one, well, actually I had two technically. Had an event on Saturday night, went to the longest table in Avoca with Golden Hills Director Angie Remington. I had a very good time. It was about 100 of us sitting in downtown Avoca on Main Street and eating a 4-course meal from local farmers in the area. So I really enjoyed that. I think farmers are, of course, the heartbeat of our community, and small businesses are the backbone of our community. So it was good to be there for that. And then in addition to that, last week on Friday, Malvern celebrated the 100-year anniversary of our community building opening. So after homecoming, we gave out some of the original American flags that were sponsored by veterans that were flown in the cemetery during 4th of July, during Memorial Day. So we were able to get those back to the families, and then we had a good luncheon. So all in all, it was a good week. That's all I have.
Mr. Crouch?
We had a east-west water management meeting for the Michigan Rivers.
That's still going.
We have, there's supposed to be 26 people on this committee. We had a total of 7 show up. So there was no quorum. It was brought up that we discontinue this till someone finds funding for us. They're trying to get federal, state grants, things. Being we have never received money from the state of Iowa on some of this. The money stays on the eastern side of the state. You can start up in the northeast corner, come clear down around to the southeast corner, and there's probably about $5 million that's put out in grants over there. We just don't have the representation to get money down into southwest Iowa. We have the same problems here as they do over there. That's where we're standing on that one. Had a Nista Productions meeting last night. We built a new house in Essex, Iowa. Started 14 months ago, and the clients will be moving in on October 1st. First 3 will come in then, and then around the 15th, 18th, the 4th client will be moving into the new house.
4 total.
4 total in that one. We're building, we got the lots bought in Red Oak, city of Red Oak. We're going to build a 6 client house there. Probably a joint house of men and women. The way they can design it, it can be separated off, but we can actually buy land in Essex or Red Oak for the same price that can't afford Fremont or Mills County. We have looked over here, and when the lots double in price, we just stay where they're cheaper. So that's all I have.
Where in Montgomery County you guys building?
You know where the museum and stuff is, right north of Agrivision. North of Bumgards or. Tractor
Oh,
Supply.
yeah. Okay.
It's a new
Brown
housing.
Drag.
There's a new housing development up in there.
Okay,
We bought a corner, kind of a corner lot somewhere in there.
okay.
Everything fits our house design and stuff. We have gentleman in Griswold, Iowa that designs our houses. He knows the exact square footage he needs, put it on a lot, either if it's a 6 client or a 4 client. Yeah, he has really streamlined this system. I mean, he brings everything down, it's all put together. He can cover a house in less than 36 hours. So
Are we able to ask questions about that?
Not during the meeting, no. During public comment, you could have, and you can't even more.
Well, it does say we can comment on specific agenda items as they come up.
Yeah, we don't normally allow the public to be involved in the meetings other than during public comment.
I'll be available afterwards. if
Yeah, yeah.
need be.
all
Well,
those-
then you should remove that text from the printed agenda.
Sure.
That says comments related to specific agenda items can be addressed at the time.
We will do that. Thank you. Jake, you're up.
Sorry, it always gets me. First, we have approval to hire a truck driver two position. I've selected Levi Wright after doing interviews. Hiring him at the union, starting wage of $25.65 an hour. Again, it's a union contract. Official start date will be coming in today, getting all of his not pre-employment stuff, but his new hire orientation done. He has passed all of his pre-employment screening. He was Class A CDL, worked on the farm for 4 years where he learned lots of different equipment and things like that. And also just talking around, seems that anyone that knows him, he has a pretty good reputation working hard, so
Good.
I like hearing that. So here's my approval letter to you guys. Here, do you want me to see what's switched on?
Right, under and Sue, that's there and now.
Couldn't tell you that.
What'd you say?
Do you have any relation to anybody in Melbourne? I know there's a rights or.
That's Travis. Okay.
Okay. They're all good people, so I'll make a motion to hire Levi Wright as truck driver number 2 for $25.65 an hour. Official start date of September 23rd.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve Levi Wright for the truck driver two position for $25.65 an hour, or is there any discussion? Will this put you into a full staff? Truck drivers anyway?
For maintenance crew, yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
I,
Aye, motion carries. Approval to purchase a trailer, it's back on the agenda.
Okay, so this is, a while ago, we had approval, we did not make the purchase. We seeked out some other bids, and the one we'd like to go with is from Lowe's Pro Trailer Sales. They're giving us a $921 discount, which would bring the total to $12,000 even. This is actually a little bit better trailer than the one we had last time. And it is coming with a spare tire and upgraded wheels. So it's actually very similar in the previous quote we had, a little bit extra options. Again, in the tires and the spare tire brings it up a little bit. So you guys remember from last time, we didn't specifically have this budgeted. However, we spent 34,000 on engineered vehicle. We budgeted 50. So this would come from that. It's the same line item as equipment. And this is to help carry around our new skid loader that we purchased for our end crew.
It'll haul a skid loader.
Yeah, this is the big one. It's a 28 footer. And kind of, we're doing a little bit of shuffling right now because we have one that we can has this on. We're gonna switch it with the hydro seeder on that, put that one to the new skid loader, and then this one's gonna go to the bridge crew, so they have room for attachments. So we need a new trailer because of that skid loader, but then now we can kind of shuffle around and get all of them where we need them. So total price again is $12,000 out of Load Pro Trailer Sales policy. On a Clarence.
And it will be within your budget.
Yes,
12,000.
yes.
How much was the original?
I believe the original was right at 11,000 and 9. That one was from Double Take Trailers.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of a trailer from Load Pro Trailer Sales out of Clorinda for $12,000 and to rescind our approval for purchase of a trailer for roughly $11,000 from Double Take.
I'll say this, the company you're dealing with now, a good company. We've
Yeah.
dealt with them on farm trailers and stuff. They're very good.
Good.
I second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve a 28-foot trailer for $12,000 to Load Pro out of Clarinda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries. Okay, for general discussion, Jake.
All right, I got a few items. This year, Kyle Anderson came to me. He's our roadside vegetation manager. There's a couple FEMA buyout properties. he's done this before where he's seeded them down, wildflowers natives. And so he was seeking out some permission, on 4 different properties here, equating to about 7 acres. I know in the past you guys were in favor of it. It helps with the maintenance once we can get that, we can get them seeded down and
Get
native.
established.
There's a lot of good things that come from that. And we have the means and equipment to do it. We also get 10 acres of native grasses and flowers seed for free through one of the programs that the Living Roadway Trust Fund. So
Do we burn those in the fall or the spring?
we haven't burnt anything yet. We've got some burn equipment. But we have not done any burning. So it's in our toolbox. We just haven't pulled it out yet.
Richard, you might know this more than I do, but would the county be eligible for ground like this that we're planting natives on? Would we be eligible for CRP?
I think so.
I think so. I wasn't quite sure if counties were eligible or just landowners.
I haven't heard about if you own county property of, 120 acres or something like that. Maybe you could put it in CRP, but that would be a government entity paying a government entity. I don't know.
Okay.
And one good thing, Kyle Anderson is also the weed commissioner for the county, so doing things like this helps because the phone calls that come in of, hey, it's grown up in thistle, they come to our department anyway, so this is also kind of preventative.
And people have to understand, it's not you plant it this year, some show up. It takes about 3 years for it to establish, and when it does establish, it's very nice.
Barb.
Leap, creep, leap is what they say. The natives. The 1, 2, and 3. So if you guys haven't had any problems in the past with that, so we're gonna move forward with that. If you guys have any concerns about that, you can reach out to me.
Easier we can maintain them and less money we have to spend on.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, some individuals came in with a petition on Alice Road speed reduction. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. We're in past 8:30.
Yeah, if we could take a break into the public hearing and then come back to yours.
I'll stick around so I can update that.
Certainly.
That's
I
okay.
didn't either, look quick.
Yeah,
Okay, at this time, it's 8:32. We have a public hearing scheduled for 8:30. Budget amendment number 1.
I would make a motion to go in or approve public hearing at 8:32.
Second.
A motion and a second to open the public hearing at 8:32. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing, now it's time to speak. Anybody want to speak?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I have not received any oral or written comments prior to the meeting.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing at 8:33.
I would like to say this, that Amber put out a very nice printed document on this, where the money was coming from, where it was going, and why it had to be done, and appreciate that. Okay, Jack, go ahead. Try it again.
Make a motion to close the public hearing at 8:34.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing at 8:34 for the budget amendment. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We should go back into session too.
Well, you want to finish her out or not?
Dick?
Or you want to go back to Jake?
Yeah, Jake, since you agree.
All right. The update on the Alice Road, so I'm still working on that. I went out there, took some actual measurements of the road. So I include that in my investigation, get numbers of previous, traffic data, things like that. So I did reach out to the, Caroline and Sharon. Reached out to them by email and just let them know, hey, we didn't forget about you, still working on it, putting it together. So hope to have a official recommendation, investigation done, all that stuff, put in the narrative to you guys by the end of the month. So working on that. Also, project update, Kid Road is complete. So if you drive that road turned out pretty good. We had some issues in Jasmine Lane, so, they went in and patched up those spots that kind of popped up. So I'm gonna drive that this morning and kind of see how that is.
Did they core those back out or did they just put another layer on it?
Yeah, they did. They
They poured
brought in the mill and poured out. Still not ideal because it was supposed to be over at no seams, only had 2 seams at those joints, no patches, but the best we can do. So I'll go check those out for me, get some sealant on them. We'll do that too. H12, so you guys, I told you last time we're expected to start October 1st. Haven't heard anything different about that yet. Got that out on Facebook. With that project, there's gonna be a lot of millings coming from that. We wrote into the plans that the county's gonna keep those cost savings to us. We can use that for shouldering material.
Yes.
And we're expecting quite a bit. They're milling off, with 5 inches on some of it, so. We're expecting maybe 6,000 tons, and we're gonna, Stonebreaker Corner there, we're gonna fill that up. I hear stories of years ago, we used to store, stockpile out there some chips for Seal Coat roads, and
People stole them.
those would go up missing. People front end loaders, just come by and keep up. So I kind of wanna, you can talk to Greg and see if he has some advice or recommendations.
Yeah.
Put up some sort of security camera or something like that, something deter. I mean, we can catch one load. I mean, that pays for
Oh, yeah.
the camera, no problem. So kind of keep an eye on that, or if they can help to control it or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of material there. Also with that, you kind of know, well, you guys know that Austin left, so we're down in tech, and then, Kevin with his incident, he's not gonna be able to provide as much help as we were hoping. So that leaves us down to 1 tech. Now that tech is new. This was gonna be his big project where he could shadow somebody. He's never done asphalt projects, so Kevin and I were talking this morning. We're gonna potentially explore the option of helping bring on a consultant because his job is gonna be being towards the end of summer. They're going hardcore, which is
Start early, stay late.
as the maximum they can, so the half hour for sunrise till half hour before sundown. There's talking about going 7 days a week. And when you guys ever been on an asphalt job, they might be milling up here, doing shoulder widening while they're laying asphalt here and trying to collect tickets and do different testing. We gotta go to their plant in Council Bluffs, so it's hard to do just with one person. It was gonna take 2 or 3, so now that we're shorthanded, we're gonna explore those options to see if we need to bring someone on. Also, the last update I wanna put in there is ordinance chapter 12. That is our construction, reconstruction, maintenance ordinance. You guys might have seen those in some emails. There is a section in there under seal coat roads, that says we shall put them back to 24-foot wide with 2-foot shoulders on each side. Kevin and I have been looking at this past week or two, and we'd actually like to revise some of the wording. Because it kind of doesn't convey the message that we feel that it should. If you go back to the beginning of the ordinance, it'll say in there, it's up to the engineer's discretion if feasible to put it back this way. But then it no longer mentions that in that specific section. So what we'd like to do is bring that wording right there in that specific section. And also just kind of build in some flexibility in there. There's also above that, it says that we shall do like oil injection for base stabilization. Again, that depends on the road, depends on the traffic, if we want to do that or not. So we're kind of looking at that. We'll probably change some of that wording. Obviously get in front of the county attorneys and then bring that to you guys in the future to potentially.
Work with John on it.
Yep.
When was the last time we revised chapter 12?
I don't know. That's been in there since I started, 21.
Need to look at.
There's no dates on those that I could see when we adopted them, so we'd have to look back and documentation somewhere. And we may want to just add that on there too, at the end of the ordinance, revise this date, so we kind of know.
Would be a bad idea. Yeah. Everything needs to be redone eventually. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on what gets learned through the process, so.
I mean, that was standard practice, like base stabilization with the oil injection, but now there's different products with different ways to do
They
it.
don't
So,
do that much anymore.
and it almost doubles the price. And the oil's the main bulk of the cost on that stuff, so.
Good.
Okay, that's all I have.
Anything else for Jake?
Had a call from the landlord. Roadway, it's on 300th and Lambert, goes to a dead end. But like he says, I can't say as I blame him, I know, but he has a Lexus. And as he drives down the roadway, the grass and stuff is tall enough that makes marks on the car. The blade man has stopped at the top of the hill because there's nobody that lives back there. It just goes back to a vacant trailer and a farmstead. The landlord says, I just want you to remember, I pay taxes in Mills County. So
There's 300.
Need that
right
one?
there,
That one.
at half, from the top of that, Lambert, from where the two houses set there, back to that trailer.
Hmm.
I would consider it a cow path, but that's.
Okay.
And then over on, Dirt Road at Noise, Randy Granger didn't know whether it was 380th or 370th. They have to haul their, did you talk to them?
Yeah, the foreman's getting them out there.
You know, and we don't blade, and I told Randy, I said, we don't blade dirt roads unless requested. He said, that's fine.
And again, that's been the territory where one of our operators has been out on these, so. We've been having to try and spread them thin on that, but, that's on our list. We're gonna be getting to that this week, weather pending.
How are you for grader operators? Are you full staff there? Are you still short order?
We are, it's just that we have one that has had an injury, been out for a while, so we are staffed.
Anything else for Jake, guys?
Don't have anything. Thank you, John.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Amber, consideration of formal action, adoption of budget amendment 1, fiscal year ending June 30th.
I would make a motion to approve budget amendment number 1, fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the adoption of budget amendment 1 for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Is there any discussion? You said one of these we're looking at possibly paying off a bond if we can get to it. Okay. Good to hear. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Consideration of formal action, resolution 2525 appropriating funds from budget amendment 1 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Make a motion to approve resolution 25-25 appropriating funds from budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2525 appropriating funds from budget amendment 1 for fiscal year ending June 30, 2026. Is there any discussion? It's just turning everything green, isn't it?
It is, yep.
Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote, Amber.
Sayers,
Aye.
Crouch,
Yes.
Mayberry.
Yes. Motion carries. Amanda. She's back.
Get it done.
Thank you for this.
Naturally, Amber was the one who was able to get my go-ahead finally. I tried to reach out to the shops. I just couldn't get it. But I'm not over here either, so.
You can reach out to
I'm a little bit of a
him.
dead horse. But.
A little short staffed yesterday, weren't they, John? In the office?
Last week, yeah.
Vacations or sickness?
Dawn was out and then sick. And then I was out till yesterday
Oh,
and
really?
Doing the part-time thing.
I wish.
And nothing has changed in it. Deshawn was okay with it. She's good, so.
Good.
Like I said, the only thing that I did was gonna shorten the original of it and then with what we need. It wanted it monthly originally, and I just don't think that's feasible. So I did quarterly as opposed to monthly, because that way, if we do go further, great, we're above and beyond, but we're not gonna put ourselves in a position where we're not meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the safety board policy, the new? Okay, and I did get a chance to review this. I had talked with Deshawn about it. I just don't think she had the chance to get back to you.
Yeah.
I thought no issues.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cut and dry. It's
Yeah.
not anything too complicated. I just need your guys' signatures on it, and then we should be good to move forward. And I'll have each of the departments get their staff signatures. We'll do it on a yearly basis, because that way everybody can be trained
Absolutely.
on the policy. So if I can get your signature.
I would make a motion that we accept the new safety policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the new safety policy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Training tires, but.
There you go.
This one, did we just use the past safety policy, or did you look at any other
No,
counties?
I looked at other counties too and had a more simplified version of it put together, but Travis had already been working on one. And the one that Travis had, that's already done for this county specifically, so it works out really well.
Okay.
Like I said, the only thing I changed from Travis's original was just the from month
Dates.
quarterly.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
Because he had all of it really defined more so, because the last policy that we had was, I want to say close to each.
Yeah.
It was a whole, and to expect a new hire to go through and read all of that, I thought was a bit, much, you know, so this just makes it easier.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Jake Zimmer, Eagle Engineering,
Alrighty.
give you update.
GMU has a lot going, so I thought I'd just give you guys an update as.
Thank you for showing up here.
Oh, of course, I'm down here all the time anyway, so. Jack, nice to meet you officially.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know for anything here and there, but, kind of the big one for GMU is, I think Lonnie mentioned earlier, we're kind of moving into a design phase of a new wastewater. I know that's more than Glenwood, that's PJ, that's the surrounding area. So we have a design proposal of about $4 million to get the design of the project done. As part of that project, GMU has taken out a $4.3 million planning and design loan through the SRF program, which is 0% interest for the 3 years. Kind of give us a leg up into not eating into everyday budgets, not eating into the normal operations. Hoping that gives us time to find out how we're going to fund this bigger project. So Miss County Economic Development participated in the facility plans that we did 2 years ago now, maybe the year.
This was,
They kind of gave us a rough number of $50 million, 45 to 50. That was looking at what this project would look like 5 to 10 years from now. Based on how facilities are all falling apart, we're kind of moving this up. So we're hoping that number's high. But we won't know until we get to that design phase.
Yeah.
So I brought in an outside consultant that I worked with before to do the main design, since we're not big enough to do that. Everything's running through us, so we can have a handle on everything. I think, who involved, who the players are, helping us operate. GMU is a little different than a lot of places where it's all in-house. It's not part of the city, but not part of the city. So that's gonna be a big change down here. As part of that, GMU has also hired a municipal advisor. I believe it's actually the same one the company uses, Northland Financial. So they've started the review of all of their stuff. They've given their initial findings. Unfortunately, we're gonna look at a very large rate increase here the next. They haven't decided exactly, but
couple of years.
worst case scenario, it'll be, a third year to start looking at how do we pay for that bigger project,
Yeah.
knowing this is gonna be the worst case scenario. Now if we find grant funding, if the state puts out some more stuff like they've talked about the last 5 years, we hope to use some of that to offset those rate increases, but they aren't gonna come. So we're trying to get the news out there now that it's a necessary evil. We have to provide sewer. If we don't provide the sewer, I don't want to think about what that looks like in the county. So, with Glenwood being a large player around here, at this point, GMU's looking to fund it all themselves. But if there is something that comes up through the county, through the state, federal, we're kind of looking at all options for this big project. So, I believe GMU's meeting here in a couple weeks to look at some of those rate increases. I don't think anything would go into effect until April. That was the last time we did the big one. But just the more people know about it, the more you guys are aware of what's going on. Everything kind of funnels back to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big one with GMU. The other one, we have been getting pestered with some questions about water service on 195th Street. This started
It's been going on for.
probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. There was
Better.
15 to 20 properties that came and said, hey, our wells are running dry. So currently GMU has water there along 195th up to Hannah Ave, which is just north of the 34 interchange.
No water that's over here.
Correct. So GMU had me look at what would it cost to get water from that kind of intersection up to Gunsully, which would encompass 90% of the people that are asking for potential water. The number we threw out there was about $700,000. So unfortunately, GMU doesn't have the money to put a long dead end line out there for 10 customers, 15 customers, whatever that may be. But long-term, this is an area I think we would like to serve and probably want to serve for the better of that area.
Pony Creek is gonna be needing water service also, so if we could loop our system between, well, anywhere, the system would run better, so if we could get Pony Creek and this run, it would open up a lot to development and growth and.
So if there's anything in future budgets, future anything, I think this is an area we're gonna keep getting questions about. GMU has statutory a little bit of money to help with things like this, but not enough to cover the whole project.
Lonnie, in your opinion, I don't know, I have some, I think that open up some commercial area
Absolutely.
going up to 195th Street.
It would open
It
up.
could help offset.
It would open up all of this through.
So originally when, I don't know if you guys remember, we had that potential for the big Calvin's project in North Council Bluffs, kind of swooped in. We looked at running a water main all the way up this location to open all this up.
It's about 11 million bucks.
With the water and sewer was at least that, yeah. So obviously this is not that magnitude. We're looking at something a lot shorter, but there is, I think, potential for development down there.
Absolutely.
The question is, how do you serve it with sewer? How do you serve it with water? And right now we can't.
Well, would it be housing development or would it be economic development? Because
It'd be commercial industrial.
it would be able to,
Yeah, if you look at the zoning there, it's already laid out for us.
I guess my question is, pipes that are big enough for housing are obviously different than pipes that are big enough for
Correct.
commercial. So you're planning on putting in, if you do put in pipes big enough for commercial and
It all kind of depends what we're looking at through there. So right now, we wouldn't run a bare minimum for 7. We've got to pump it up to at least 8.
okay.
And anything that GMU does right now, GMU is looking to pay to oversize it.
Okay.
The next one I'll go through, I'll show you that too. At least an 8-inch. If we find someone that wants to move in there and say, we're gonna use this much water, I think we can.
Okay.
The original plan was for a 12 the whole way, so we can get it looped. But without a big user on the end, that's a lot of stagnant water, and a lot of additional maintenance where you're having to go out
Is it
and pump a
east
hydrant
of
to
the
flush
first
it.
road
et
that
cetera.
trucks back over the hill?
Yes. Yeah, so we just north of that.
So the big thing was, even if GMU, they're still looking at $25,000-$30,000 per connection for a user. And unfortunately, you can put in a new well for that, but there's no water to pump it. And so we kind of just keep spinning our wheels with this, how do we get that water without, one, bankrupting them, with two, without bankrupting.
The water down there is just. It's just orange. It's not the water.
It's terrible, period.
Yes. When there is water. So that's one that Jamie's kind of been bouncing around here. The other one is the Pony Creek HOA. We go to that lake area.
It's coming off of 221st Street.
Just south of there, Lonnie. There you go. Yep, right there, Falden Bank. So we're currently under contract right now to do a whole new water system for them. They came to GMU a year ago and said, hey, DNR EPA said our water is not usable. We're on a boil notice 24/7. They're just, the lines are small, the manganese involved, et cetera. So they came to the GMU board and asked if they could hook up to their system. This whole thing went around about 12 years ago and fell apart. Now everybody's on board. So they're looking at taking a line from 221st all the way.
There's water on 221st. This is the Woodfield, so they're gonna appear.
Woodfield.
But Woodfield.
It goes all the way to
water.
Ohana.
Yeah, it goes all the way to Ohana.
So we'd be looking at running a water main there and then potentially underneath the kind of the tip of that lake to get them water over there. 12 years ago, this would have been very simple. Now that GMU has to do like a water tower and a water pressure, we're actually gonna have to neck down the pressure to feed the lower areas of this. I don't know if you guys have been back there lately, but their neighborhood kind of sits like this, where you have some very low areas and some very high areas. So we're having to kind of balance that as best we can. So they will qualify for CDBG, which could fund up to $500,000 of the project. We're working with USDA right now to do an income survey, because they don't take a census for themselves. They belong to the county, and the county has too high of an MHI. So we're currently trying to get all those surveys in to show that this subdivision HOA is low enough to qualify for a lower rate, USDA grants, et cetera.
Would there be fire hydrants to put the state
Yes.
put on there as it?
Yep, so GMU would take over the whole system, operate the whole new system. Essentially, they're saying we want to be done with the water business. We want GMU to take it over, operate it, sell the water. They'd be treated just like a normal GMU customer. So as part of the oversizing that I mentioned, GMU is willing to pay to oversize it from 221st down to the intersection there. I believe it's a Beacon, where they would actually use the capital facility fees that are paid per person to go back into the project. So I think GMU is doing a very good job of trying to grow this area, providing service to its customers. But once again, Pony Creek may be coming, see the county to help them because they are so low.
They would have clean water and fire protection, so their insurance rate would go down too.
Right.
So kind of another big one.
Huge.
Yes. Kind of another big one in that, I mean, end all be all, we'd love to get that system moving. Have it up to the, the conservation area to the south. There is some issues with the pressure zones, but nothing that can't be solved. So Jamie's got a lot going in this area. And whether you guys can find somebody in your budget to help partner with some of these smaller projects, I think it can help a lot of people. The more I think, the more people know, the more it's out there, the better it's doing. Unfortunately, a lot of the funding that is coming in right now is for population or over 10,000 population. So the GNU falls right in the middle of that and can't qualify for a lot of it. So we're always looking for additional options to bring in stuff and help GNU grow, help the county grow, all that type of stuff. It is all connected. So. No, I had on my list. If you guys have any questions on the wastewater stuff or anything else going on?
What was your rating?
No, it wasn't a huge increase, but it also hadn't been increased for a decade.
I thought we did a small one 4 or 5 years ago. We added that infrastructure.
Oh, I know, yeah, I mean.
That was also, I think that was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it was a small one this time that was all based upon JMU's just operating costs.
Right.
I'm not looking at the longer term of how does this bigger project affect us. So because we are accelerated but not accelerated, we're trying to get ahead of that. That way we're not paying everybody with a $100 a month increase, right when we need it.
Yeah.
The goal also from GMU, which I think is kind of a good stewardship of the money, is we're trying to collect some of that now to help pay off something we don't take interest in. So if we get enough to cover, let's say, the design fees or half the design fees, we're only taking a loan out more we actually need. And the SRF is low interest loan, but it's still a large yearly payment to cover it.
Thinking, you said something about looping, being we're how far south on conservation up to that Emmerich.
Conservation, that's right here.
Right there.
Yep,
Oh, a mile.
just over a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, that would help out a bunch. I mean, we'd serve some people, but that way we would have a loop
You'd have a
in case something.
Unfortunately, as GMU has grown, it's longer dead end mains. So right
Right.
now, that's the problem we have right now with the conservation area to the south, is that's an 8-inch line, but we're only fed by a 6-inch. So without that loop, you can't get that full flow. But long term, we wanted to loop it with an 8-inch all the way around.
Yeah.
So
Well, and might take, let's say 10 years, but if we can come up with something to loop that up to conservation up and then eventually come up to Eastman, come over from the west,
You have to look ahead.
Yeah.
Just like on the sewer plant that we're looking at a rebuilding. We're gonna rebuild it for what we have. GMU's gonna rebuild it for what they have and first a little bit of potential growth, but it'll have the ability to add what Jake has called trains, which is more treatment process equipment.
So when we started
If
this
a
whole-
mega site comes in and if
Yeah.
something else comes in, so it's.
when we started this whole thing, it was what are we
blessing.
including and what are we not? So right now we have a wastewater service area, we're adding a little bit of growth to that. With the state school gone, we've actually lost one of our biggest users of water and sewer up there. So Before they went out, we had about a third capacity left with the existing plant. Now we're about half. So right now we're going through what do we need to size it by, and can we size it to grow quickly if we need to? Say a mega site comes in, something major development comes in. Maybe we build the headworks now, and then all you gotta do is add one for two, and then build the third or the second train.
Are you looking at building in the same area?
Correct. Why don't you go to that site for me? So GME actually owns part of the land to the southeast of the existing plant.
For Chesterton.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you can see that they kind of own that whole piece around there. So the goal would be to go to just the east. Just that one parcel there. So you can see right now we use about half of that parcel. One of the issues we're dealing with though is it's next to a core certified levee. So anything within 5 foot of that levee, even though it is a tieback levee, we have to have special permission to do it. So right now we're focusing in the bottom right corner of that area as it starts. Now, if we need to get permission to use that area, we will. It just delays permitting stuff. Ideally, we don't leave that area because all of the current wastewater comes into that. We can catch it ahead. But the intent is to go right back in the same location. It was not affected by the flood 19. I don't think it's ever flooded, not on board. Plus, we have the same outfall. So
With that $40 to $50 million, rebuilding of the wastewater treatment facility compared to what the capacity is now, what would the capacity be? Just the original, not with the expansion.
1.2 MGD, I believe is what it's permitted at right now. There's a little bit, don't quote me on that one, but that sounds right. There's a dry weather and a wet weather permitting type on that.
Okay.
So maybe we look at a 1.5 and then potentially go to a 2 or something like that. Right now, we're working through those loading numbers to say, here's the options. And then I threw it up to the GMB board. It's gonna be up to them to decide, here's what we're comfortable building into this project. With the potential to grow, or, if that's less, if that's more, that's something that depends on the side. We'll lay that out for our best recommendation. Now, if we want to build the catalog, we don't need the catalog, but we don't want to build the bare minimum to build the 5 years, say, all right, we don't have enough capacity, we got to go back for another add-on or something. So we're trying to look at the bigger picture and then scale it back to how we can grow piece by piece and need it. So
We won't be able to handle all of the resource center and a mega site.
but maybe not have to build it or pay for it now.
Just the basic.
Yeah, just the headworks for it. Have the ability to handle it, not handle it all at once.
What's the capacity now?
1.5 million-ish.
But that 1.2 is the capacity now, so we'd be looking at that, or at least that, if not more, for the new one.
Not knowing what's gonna go in there, it's hard to design around it.
Correct. Yeah, there's been a lot of what ifs. There's been a lot of, I feel like about every 6 months, we get another inquiry into, well, this company wants to come in there, what kind of water and sewer?
Yeah.
Which is great. None of them have worked out yet, but we can be able to say this is what we can provide, this is the title.
Well, and all of this out by the racetrack, Love's, BP, Harley, all of that runs through here.
Correct.
So it's, you're looping Glenwood and PJ and all of it
And you've got sewer all the way north to the fields currently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a big area.
in the rest area.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces. Anything comes up along the way, obviously, let me know. Between Dave and I, we usually get things figured out. A lot of inquiries here and there, it's just we're kind of waiting for that next one to,
We'll be running through budgets December and January, so it may not hurt to put that on your calendar to come in and visit.
sure. Yeah, we'd love to partner with you guys on something and help out as many people as we can, so.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much. Very interesting.
Federal Tourism Committee.
Well, my over did you go?
Time of year.
About an hour a day. It's water. Just wanted to let you guys know that we are applying for a $10,000
Iowa Tourism Marketing Grant. We came up with a new video campaign slogan, "See yourself in Mills County." And so the grant is for $10,000 and we need to have some cash matches to that. Overview, full project overview, we're gonna hire somebody to create a high quality video. Targeting what Travel Iowa wants you to target is young families, young professionals, young adults. And they really want us to target like bringing people in from other states. We live next to 1 million people, so that we're gonna try to have a high quality video produced to run and try to get the Omaha metro area people here. To attract weekend visitors and encourage people potentially to relocate to Mills County. What we're really gonna kind of focus on is the natural beauty, because when you look at the categories that Travel Iowa has, it starts with like agribusiness where there's 3, and you go to hiking, biking, and trails and outdoor adventures, you end up with a list of like 10. So our natural beauty is a lot of what can and should draw people to our community. Yeah, so, we keep working on Visit Mills County, working on our website. And we want to try to, help increase economic development benefits. And so with asking for a $10,000 grant, we need to have, the grant requirement is that they require 20% local cash match, for a total of $25,000 or $2,500. So we're working with, you have to have like 3 different stakeholders in that. And so what we are coming to ask you for is a commitment of somewhere in the range of $500 to $1,000 to help us put this grant in. The grant is due in a week, right?
The 30th.
The 30th, yeah, the grant is due in a week. And so it would not be you guys like putting the money out now. It would only, you would only put the money in if we are accepted for the grant. But we want to, you'd be getting a $12,000 video. Target outreach to 1 million people in the Omaha metro area. Long term, I mean, it will be a professionally made video by a professional video. Videographer. Yeah, you say that.
Mouthful.
Yeah, and so he's professional. He knows how to do
So
that.
this would be a video that you would see, I'm just gonna throw this out, 30 second deal on TV. Visit Mills County.
I don't know if
Wouldn't be on TV, would it?
I don't know if we're going to TV.
Well, I
It'd
mean,
be like
Yeah,
Facebook.
Actually, it's included in the.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It's included in the quote.
It would be on local television stations.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right now, we have a video on Visit Mills County. Somebody made it. I'm not sure. I can't accredit it. I think the name may be on there, but that's what we have right now.
This one.
Yeah. And so we're not really, because it's not, I mean, I kind of guess it is our video, but it's not our video. We are going to use hopefully this new video to market the region in Mills County, so that we can get more people to do more walking in our communities and walk around, Malvern, from like all the areas. But also attract entrepreneurs, hopefully to fill these spaces. If they look at coming and they visit for a night or two, they can see themselves here, working here, hopefully occupying some of these buildings that can see more, so there's a lot that ties into this. It's not just a pretty video. It's really about the economic boost, quality of life, and hopefully getting more people to move to the region to escape like the busy city. If we're targeting Omaha, we're saying, see yourself in Mills County to kind of reset, get away from the hustle and bustle and enjoy the small town life, rural life.
that's another component of Travel Iowa is they're, I think I might have said this earlier in the month, slow travel, like kind of slow it down and see the beauty. So that's what we really potentially want to target. Yeah, try to get some people to come hang out with us. And we also will need to eventually track visitorship, which Travel Iowa has some incredible databases to be able to track all of that. We've also looked at, we've talked with one vendor. I don't know if we'll ever be able to potentially afford that, but I've got a geo tracking, I guess, they can tell you where you went, where you were, and that's amazing data. We also can buy into potentially, there's a program, that Travel Iowa has called Air DNA. So it's like Airbnb, but DNA, what makes up all the people that travel and come to, and number of bookings and how long they stay and what the price is and the economic impact. There's all kinds, and we can buy into that for pretty cheap. And we'll potentially talk about that, because at some level, we need to be able to track whether this campaign was successful or not, and it's difficult to do without tapping into some databases. So eventually we may want to do that, but that's our proposal, to get this grant in by the end of the month, with partnership hopefully from you guys for the tourism committee. With Harley Davidson people to try to tap into that. We can get some footage. We're talking about potentially rolling through the hills, you know, with Harley. So we'd like to tap into their rolling through the hills a little bit.
Yeah, you talked about slowing things down. It just reminded me, my wife and I traveled to a football game in Bloomington, Illinois to watch my son play a few
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
ago. And we always take the long way home and just stop and slow down and smell the roses. And Macomb, Illinois has taken their town square and made it like a Monopoly
Yeah.
game.
Oh my God.
Oh, it is so cool. There's a QR codes and you
Is it
follow what.
permanent?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Oh, yes. It's really neat.
I've heard of it, like it's
onion
very,
piece.
I have not
No,
heard of
it's,
that.
it's cool. You're right, there's the dice. And there's a QR code on it. It'll tell you about it. And then if it'll relate it to one of the businesses in town, and along the sidewalks, it'll have like your boardwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Or the R&R Railroad, and it just, takes you to museums and other things. You can spend a whole day just walking around the square in the neighborhood, looking at that. So
Unforgettable.
world's largest monopoly in Macomb, Illinois. You'll have to pull it up and just do some
Yeah.
reading on it. It was fun. It's
170,000 square feet. Oh, wow.
yeah, it's where Lincoln stayed there. Like I said, there's QR codes everywhere. So
sweet.
I was thinking there's the world's largest boards that kind of gives you direction on
Oh.
what's where. This would be Adriano's, and then go to nutrition or
Yeah.
Russ's or whatever. So it was really neat. We could have spent more time there.
And that has come up. I actually ordered a sample Monopoly board. It's not Monopoly. It's
Sure.
I think what's unique about Mills County is that we are a county chamber
Yes.
instead of,
Yeah.
a city chamber. So
Yeah,
trying to
understood.
tie that in and
Good.
try to fit that many pieces on a board is a little tricky.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
saying monopoly, just
yeah.
you
But
something
that
similar
concept.
to it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's very popular.
yeah. It was just fun.
With this
Sorry.
grant, are you planning on so if you're asking for 500 to 1,000 of us and then Harley Davidson, are you gonna ask any other businesses, or are you gonna ask City of Glenwood, City of Malvern, any other cities?
We're gonna ask them to be partners as far as like spreading the message, having the video available on their website, things like that. We need a minimum of 3, and so we have to at least have 3. So the private one thing that they have required on this year's on the rubric is to have a private organization, and that's why we've reached out to that private organization to see if they will help fund some of it, but also include them in it. One of the businesses has to make money off of it. And so if we can help promote, that piece of it, we'd like to do that. But it has to be at least 3. And then the other entities, Emerson, Henderson, we're going to ask for partners in the sense of helping promote in other ways. And so that's our goal. Not monetary.
Not financial.
Yeah, not financial. And right now I'm asking every community that has a website to put Visit Mills County on their website, like you guys did.
Yeah.
Like you guys did that. So Emerson is putting it up on theirs. I haven't heard back from Malvern. Glenwood's putting it up on theirs. So
Well,
those kinds of partnerships I think are really important too.
All those people that come here are gonna buy lunches at C&M's or yes, at EP or Casey's, and we're gonna turn that over here too. And
Yeah.
it all helps in the end.
Yeah, and that database that you can what's it called? Placer AI. Placer AI. It's amazing. Like I said, we sat with them and had a little sample and he just like into the park. And he's like, what was happening on August 30th at the park? Oh, that was a cross country meet. Cause you can see the spikes in the number of people and they know like if they come to the park first and go eat second. it's-
And they can tell like if they were in a certain part of Omaha where they reside and how far they traveled to be there because it's all off your cell phone.
Yes.
It's not telling us who it is. They're not gonna give us addresses, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And so
Interesting.
that's a way to, it could be a way to track. Going
Yeah.
forward. We did look at, so with this Travel Iowa, grant, it's anywhere from 2,500 to 10,000, is what they will fund for a marketing campaign. We did look at paper, and we talked to the Travel Iowa people and they're like, if you put a grant in for something like the brochure or something, we're not going to fund it.
Yeah.
So just so you know, we did our due diligence on that. It's videos the way to go now.
Yep. Everything's online.
Yeah, and I mean, eventually we still want to get some paper products, you know, to be able to put in front of people. Right now, we're just doing that single brochure, little brochure. But eventually, I'd like, working with Airbnbs and VRBOs, but
Yeah.
it's just another whole volume. But yeah, Travel Iowa doesn't want paper. They're not getting some paper production publication.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You know, Friday night, we had a ball game with Sergeant Bluff Luton, and I was there a little early, and some of the fans from Sergeant Bluff, there was 3 couples, they was traveling together. And they all 3, one gentleman that was named Joe, so he come up and started talking to me. And he says, you know, when we left the south edge of Council Bluffs, and you start coming down into the hills, and then you drive over the hills to a stadium like this, who put the diamond here? You know, his point was, he says, I would move here and have my kids play ball on a field or a facility like this. And I said, well, we have plenty of housing development down here. If you want to move down, I can get you lined up. But no, he says, this is unbelievable. You know, that who would know when you drive over the hill, there is a facility like this for kids to participate in. And I says, we're here to sell. We gotta do is come down.
There's so many
So,
stories like that.
But they said it's getting so crowded up there in certain areas.
Sergeant Bluff.
Well, yeah, they're just a little ways north of Sioux City and stuff, but he says everybody just keeps,
Yeah.
you know, so. I thought that was kind of interesting to talk to somebody that, you know, drove down and look, and they said the scenic, you know, of course, he says this is a beautiful time of the year, which it is, so, you know, I thought it was interesting.
If this were to go through, it would be filmed at the beginning of spring of next year, spring through summer.
Good.
To be done by August. So, but yeah, those stories are everywhere. I was at the golf course the other day and a couple came in and they were from a different part in Iowa, but they were golfing the 99 counties.
Oh,
And
Cool.
so even those people that come through and to know that this is a destination, we have Malvern, we have, you know, Glenwood, so, and then disc golf also, so we have a lot of options for people to come.
so our ask is a range of $500 to $1,000. If you say yes to that, then we must need a lot of commitment for that, so we can submit it with our grant.
You have it anywhere?
Yeah,
Amber?
we have about 6,200 left in the betterment fund for lost.
What do you think, gentlemen?
Well, I think we need to help promote this regardless, you know, if we don't show people what we have, how are we gonna get people here? You know, it's gonna be a betterment for the community. I would propose $1,000 be set aside if they need it. Means we don't put a lot of other money out for tourism and economic development things.
I'll go ahead and second that motion. We have a motion and a second to approve $1,000 for matching tourism grant funds through our Lost Community Betterment Program. Is there any discussion?
Back in July, Mavic came in to ask for funding for Children's 5210 program in Malvern, Richard. And
Just now,
back in July, Mavic came in and asked for funding for the 5210 program, which is a children's program in Malvern. And you and Lonnie voted to not provide the funding to that program. Instead, you asked them to come back at another time. So I guess I'm just wondering, with our lost funds, in your opinion, are we viewing it as a first come, first serve, or are we, are we deciding what we want to fund and what we don't want to fund? We didn't fund the children's program, but we'll fund something like this. And so I'm just wondering, the money was there back in July. You didn't vote to give it then. Why are we giving it now? Because you wanted to wait till the end of the year.
I think when you say for the children's funding and stuff, what we put into the daycare center over there and things, I thought was enough money. The children's of that community and stuff. That's my feeling. This, I think, we don't do hardly anything for tourism or economic development.
So we have historically given 200,000. They have a bank account of 600,000. That's why we didn't do it this year. And then I don't remember what the matching we provided for the mural in Silver City. Lou,
25, I think it's
25. So we have.
Put $600,000 in type racks.
They have $600,000 in their bank account. That's why we didn't give them an extra 200,000 this year.
Oh, economic development.
They get a lot of money historically. So, just with loss, we have the 6,200 available. And I guess, Lonnie, since you come back, my question to Richard was, back in July, we provided that. They came in and asked for money for the children's program. Two of us voted it down because we said we wanted to wait until the year progressed more to decide whether, we wanted to fund something like that, and they could always come back. So in your opinion, is our lost funds, the 6,200 we have left, a matter of first come, first serve, or are we deciding where we want that money to go?
Both.
Both.
That's my opinion. I mean, that's why there's three of us here. MABA I see as a metro area betterment association. This is countywide, so I support it. And I supported the MABA thing. So just my 2 cents. So we vote.
Yeah, only reason I would vote. Do you have any plan to going and trying to get money from city councils, city governments, or is it just the county along with this, along with the business?
And yeah, the business is a requirement for the grant for us to go to a private entity. So we're only approaching one private entity right now because it makes sense. We're not going to splatter this over everything, but we know that there's, technically Tabor has half of its city in Mills County. So there's 9 cities in Mills County. So we wanted to ask the county first. If we need to go to city, that's fine. That's not in our plan, but it would be private, county, and then we're gonna try to find one more, but it won't be city.
Do you guys, I know I brought this question up earlier in the year, do you guys try to, I understand some people get fundraise fatigue. I understand that that's a real thing. You do cross country, Lou. I understand it. Do fundraisers and vice versa. We all do fundraisers around this table, but does the tourism committee try to find ways to fundraise or ask for donations for businesses like the Chamber of Commerce does, or anything like that, where those people who are seeing the actual benefits in their business, or those community members who believe that tourism should be a priority for the county, are you asking those people to pitch into things like this, to pitch into things like the Silver City mural, or are you just relying on the county?
we haven't made a plan for that. I mean, you gotta also understand that this is fairly new, that tourism is up and running.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty small ask from $500 to $1,000 to potentially get economic impact into the county. If you go back to the whole hotel motel tax thing, I mean, you chose not to fund any of the tourism that we're doing with any hotel motel tax this year. So I think it's a pretty small ask and able to allow us to apply for $10,000 to promote the entire county.
One way or another, we'll get our $1,000 back.
It would seem like it to me. Yeah. And you're not out that unless we get the grant, and we won't know that until potentially January.
If you don't, then we don't do the costs.
Yeah, if we don't get the grant, if we don't score high enough with the rubric scoring, then we don't get the grant and you guys won't pay any money.
A lot of our work is balanced. We don't just ask businesses for money all the time. We're also trying to get people here and trying to support the business. So if there's an opportunity for us to support the businesses without having to go individually to all of them and say, hey, we need your money, we're going to say, so it's always this play of, yes, now we need to ask for money. Now we're promoting business. It's always happening, right? So we're not consistently 100% always fundraising. We're going in and talking to these businesses, seeing how we can support them. And so it really is more of a collaboration versus just give us something. It's not about the chamber, it's not about the tourism committee, it's about the county, it's about the people of the Southwest Iowa region, and that's what we're really working towards.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote, Amber.
Crouch,
Yes.
Mayberry,
Yes,
Sayers.
just stay in touch with Amber and let us know. Let us know either way,
We
please.
need a letter, we have a template. We'll see.
Email to me.
Yeah.
Even better.
Thank you.
Like, yes.
Yep. Excuse me.
Melissa Lawfrey, treasurer. Morning. Looking to hire universal clerk.
We have. We have a new hire, who has passed all of her pre-employment screenings. She is ready to start as of tomorrow.
Has she been working with you part-time at all, or is this, okay? This is what we eventually proved a while ago, you just, awesome.
Did we approve to advertise this position?
Just either,
That's supposed to be present.
yes, end of April, May. It was to start after there. We hadn't, when I discussed with Jolene and dates and everything.
Been in your budget for over 2 months already.
When you say universal, she'll be able to do most of the jobs in the office.
Mhm.
I would call her a floater, she can do
Yes.
cross-train and stuff, probably except for driver's license, or will she be able to be trained on that?
Ideally, it will be all of it. So we'll start
Okay.
in one department, looks like we will start her in motor vehicle and then work our way around from there, but yeah, universal clerks for us. That is the goals for them to be able to do both professional skills. sitting in property tax, not just sitting in driver's license, not just sitting in.
With this additional hire, you guys have any intention, once she gets on and once she gets trained, to not close during lunch? Driver's license will still close during lunch.
As of right now, yes. That has been, I've been in the office for 7 years, and that's just the way it's been. I believe when I first started, driver's license didn't close. I think that Jill was the new treasurer at that point, and she was doing driver's license for that. Job wise, it was decided to close, but I think it's been that way for at least six or 7 years, just for that hour. To make sure that that person, you know, because as of right now, we've got 2 people that can do driver's license, but keeping it that way works better for right now. In the event of a vacation, in the event of an illness, we've only got 1 person, so if our backup is gone, we would have to close driver's license. And you know, when you're open and then you're closed, driver's license is just stayed that way.
Still works better in Pot County.
But
It still works better than Pot County.
Most things do.
you hear that very good.
Right, right.
A lot of offices, going back to that, a lot of offices in the county, when people take lunches, my understanding of being in here every Mondays and Thursdays is, you know, we don't have any other office that close.
Mhm.
Treasurer's office is the only one.
Mhm.
From what I've seen is most people, employees, when they are on their lunch break or, you know, eating lunch, you know, they're still at their desk, they're still able to function
Mhm.
in a role if somebody does come, with the chance that somebody does come. So I guess, is there a reason we can't do that? And especially, you know, if we approve to hire universal clerk who can jump around and learn a thing or two from everybody, where that could be implemented. I don't want to tell you how to run your office, you know, but if you have the staff to be able to do it, then we should do it.
Once we're fully staffed, everybody staggers to lunches. That's the way it's been. Motor vehicle, everybody staggers. We kind of go every hour, every 30 minutes. We do run into, and when I was in motor vehicle, I was the very last one to take lunch. Taking lunch at 2:30 in the afternoon is not always ideal, but
No.
it happens regularly. Our office is a very public office, you know, and
There's always a line there.
there is a line, and I do understand sitting at your desk and eating your lunch, but sometimes that doesn't happen in our office. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to publicly sit at my desk and eat my lunch and then have to help somebody when I've got food in my mouth. But yes, ideally, when we're fully staffed, everybody staggers lunches, we don't close. That's the one thing that when I first started, that we were fully staffed. That way we're able to serve and do driver's license. Yes, that closes because again, you know, if we have somebody gone, we'd have to close it anyway. But yeah, ideally, that is what we will get back to is being able to stagger lunches and be open and operating up to lunch, right? For everybody to be able to get their lunch. And even that sometimes doesn't happen when we've got people that show up late, and so they have to stay late, but yet they still have to be back at 12:30. Because that's when we open back up, or, you know, we a little shorter, so.
I'll make a motion to hire Kate McNutt as a universal clerk. Starting salary at $48,690 with a 6-month probationary period and evaluation. Starting date will be September 20th.
I'll second that. A motion and a second to approve the hire of the universal clerk for $48,690. Kate McNutt on the 6-month probation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Crouch,
Abstain, please.
motion carries. Thank you very much. Greg Schultz, without donuts. There he is.
Oh my God, can't be tempted. Okay.
It's your diet, it's not ours.
You all just need to address him like this next time he shows up.
Couple things today. Gone through the, promotional process, promotional interview with a couple of guys. We had several that were eligible, but a couple of guys opted to do the promotional process. This is with the vacancy created by, Sergeant Butter Case retirement. We need that second sergeant in there to help cover that the shifts that are afterwards. Or after normal hours, I guess that's what it's said. Throughout the process, feel very confident in our selection. This is before me the promotion of Deputy Jacob to the rank of sergeant. Promotion will take effect on October 5th, and the salary will be set at 83% of the sheriff's standards, 107.9, just set by the resolution that occurred years ago. So, just with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and move forward with that promotion.
Make a motion to approve the promotion of Deputy Jacob Spinagle to sergeant. Motion will take effect on October 5th, 2025, and the salary will be set at 83% of the sheriff's salary, which will be $107,000. $107,900. Nice mustache, by the way, Sheriff.
I had a beard until last night. I just said, hell, I couldn't take it anymore. And I can tell you this will probably be gone tomorrow because my wife grew back. That's just being honest.
With that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the promotion of deputy to sergeant for Deputy Spinagle. And Mr. Schultz shaves by next week because his wife's coming home.
Yeah.
Need to make sure that she sees this. Is there any discussion? My only question is gonna be, is this in your budget?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I can just get your comment down that one, I'll throw that one, copy that one to Amber and then put it in front of me. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Then, with the promotion of Deputy Spinagle, we are short one deputy. Gone through the process, the hiring process, we've got, 3 candidates. With certified officers, 3 candidates that have made it all the way through the process. One has stood out above and beyond. I have not made an offer to him yet. I wanted to make sure that you guys are okay with us still having that vacancy that's in our budget. Before I made him that offer, I wanted to make sure you guys are still okay.
As long as it's in your budget.
It is. Yes.
I'd make a motion through the hire of the vacant deputy position.
Approving to advertise or to hire?
I will give. We're going through the entire process.
Yeah.
Have the 3 candidates who made it all the way through the process. One has stood out above the other 2. But because the opening that I had as a sergeant, now that I've filled that sergeant level position, I have an opening as a deputy.
Yeah.
So we have the guys in queue. I didn't want to make the offer until I had come back to you with the open deputy.
Right.
So be to make the offer of employment to the open deputy.
Okay, and then hire at a.
If you certified officer, all 3 have under a couple years of experience. So it would be, they come in with some experience, they're all, like I said, they're all certified, but it's not going to be at that top end of the spectrum. And I'll have to come back. I haven't really researched exactly where I want to bring that.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the hire for a vacant deputy position. This is gonna be, just to clarify, to offer. You'll come back. Good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. No discussion.
Other than the mustache.
Donuts, I'm telling you. Telling you, we're gonna start working on budgets here pretty soon.
All
All
right, now, next week.
right.
So wait, it's next week, the night meeting? No. Okay. Otherwise I have to bring like evening snack.
No general discussion then?
Thank you.
Patrick Benz, Director of Information Technology.
We have computers for treasurer engineer. These are replacements are being done because of the end of life for Windows.
Let's do them separately, treasurers first.
Yep, treasurer first. Treasurer has 2 computers to replace. Understand that these are replacements are being done because Windows 10 is going to end of life in the middle of October. These computers are not capable of running the latest operating system. And they have to be replaced to make sure that we're updated with the latest security. So the treasurer's office, theirs is unique because they do get reimbursed by the Department of Transportation for 5 years. The DOT will pay for the 2 computers. These will be submitted for reimbursement. Cost is $3,373.74. It's from CDW government.
337,374.
Yep.
CD government.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 computers for the treasurer's office for $3,373.74 from CDW government.
second,
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of 2 computers for the treasurer's office for 3373.74 to CDW. Is there any discussion? Just to clarify again, you do have old computers laying around, but they won't work for this. Good. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Obviously, that was a budgeted item also, right?
Yep, I got approval from, in both cases for both departments forward. This one is for the mayor's office. They have 3 computers. They actually have 6 computers that need to be replaced for 3 or use less frequently. They'll be moving older computers that are capable of running Windows 11.
So you're looking around 3.
We're purchasing 3 new ones. Also from CW government. Cost us $4,390.67.
I make a motion to approve for the 3 computers to the engineer's office, $4,319.67.
A motion and a second to approve the purchase of 3 computers for the engineer's office to CDW government. 4319.67. Is there any discussion?
And let it be noted that we will be moving some computers over. We have to replace those.
Any other discussion? Budgeted item again, just all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Swipco, you're up.
Howdy,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good.
Point for clarification, because there is a proclamation for our 50th anniversary. And I know Mark also talked about a letter of support for a grant we're applying for. Is that something that you do? You want to do that now or in a new business or?
I thought it was on here.
Not the letter of support, just a proclamation.
I mistake that.
It's okay.
No, yeah, so the proclamation I had on there.
Right. And I thought,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the proclamation.
When would you
Sorry,
need the
Matt.
letter of support?
So,
by next week.
yeah,
Before next week.
I think,
Can we get it to you Tuesday morning?
date is Tuesday morning.
30th.
30th.
That would work.
Okay.
And it wouldn't annoy you if I talk about what that's about. and then
No.
you can act.
No, you can,
Okay.
you
Sorry,
can
So
discuss
it's
it.
okay. Just
Sure.
communicate it, sorry.
And before I forget, yeah, this year is the 50th anniversary of Swipco. So she's really evolved over the time. I think, Mills County has been a member for more than 30 years now.
That's great programs.
And, Yeah, we're looking back, we've rehabbed over 2,500 homes in Southwest Iowa, millions of transit rides.
Water towers.
Yeah, one of my first projects 19 years ago was a Mineola sewer project. It got cussed out pretty hard by the owner of the steakhouse at the time because he just put in a septic system and he had to hook onto that. So the broad range of everything in the community. So we do really appreciate the counties and the various cities' support. We're having a dinner Thursday night. And there's actually quite a few Mills County folks. We started the Ron Cohn Servant Leadership Award.
Yep.
And this will be the inaugural one of those. And there's several folks from Mills County and elsewhere that have been nominated for that. So we're looking forward to that little piece of Ron's legacy in terms of, the award actually has a picture of him shoveling snow out in front of the city hall. So pretty pleased with that. Was happy to work with him and continue his legacy in that
Good.
way. So yeah, we have that proclamation. The letter of support is we are applying for a $100,000 grant through the Iowa Department of Transportation through their state transit assistance funds, STA funds. That'd be over 2 years, so $50,000 a year. And the program is the lead group that we're working with is Jenny Edmondson Hospital, but they're also working with CHI Health. They coordinate pretty well. And the whole point is they have a lot of folks that transportation is the reason they miss appointments. Or transportation after an appointment, but they've got to go to a pharmacy now or whatnot, and maybe Medicaid doesn't pay for that or different things like that. They've run various programs themselves. Really, what this would be is in a way allowing them, so to speak, to schedule appointments around transportation. So when we have availability, sort of turnover, let's say Tuesdays when certain specialists are in, different things like that, they would help us immensely by scheduling folks during that time that need transportation. There'll be a lot of activity in the Council Bluffs area, but if they really want to see folks here that have that as a barrier in Mills County, Potawatomi County, and elsewhere. So we're not asking for any money from the county towards this. You already contribute $10,000 a year, excuse me, $7,000 a year towards SWITA. But this is really looking for that support. The total project costs about $250,000. And so this $100,000 from the DOT would be very helpful. So I will make sure that you have that letter of support for your agenda. I won't come back for that, but if
All right, today.
I'll email it to you, all the blocks.
Proclamation for your 50th anniversary.
So,
Maybe with our.
yeah, I figured what I had, Susan Miller at Pot County, she put it together. Would you like me to read it?
Sure.
Okay. Whereas the Southwest Iowa Planning Council, SWPCO, was established in 1975 to provide regional planning, technical assistance, and community development services to the counties and communities of Southwest Iowa. And whereas for 50 years, SWPCO has dedicated itself to strengthening communities through strategic planning, grant writing, housing assistance, public transit, disaster recovery, and economic development initiatives. And whereas SWPCO has partnered with local governments, nonprofit organizations, and residents to improve the quality of life and enhance opportunities and ensure sustainable growth through the region. And whereas the dedication and commitment of SWPCO's board members, staff, and volunteers have been instrumental in fostering collaboration, advancing infrastructure, supporting the needs of rural communities. And whereas 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of Southwest Iowa Planning Council, a milestone recognizes half a century service, leadership, and vision to support Southwest Iowa's future. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Mills County Board of Supervisors is hereby recognize and honor Southwest Iowa Planning Council on the occasion of its 50th anniversary and expresses sincere appreciation for its valuable contributions to people and communities of Southwest Iowa. It's 25th day of September 2020.
Thank you.
I'd make a motion for the proclamation celebrating SWPCO's 50th anniversary.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation celebrating SWPCO's 50th anniversary. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody there. Held signatures.
Yep, and all you.
So not.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all.
See you Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep, all right.
Amber Farm and consideration formal action, resolution 2526, authorizing the redemption of the county's outstanding general obligation urban renewal county road improvement bonds, series 2018A.
This will be tabled till next week. They did not get me the resolution in time, so it'll be next week.
Gonna move this till now, okay.
We have discussion of Whitetail Run urban renewal TIF.
So I'm working with Dorsey and Whitney, to get that moving forward. I will have, a resolution to set a public hearing for the, urban renewal area and plan. So we're working hard to get that moved through so that we can certify in December.
It's your guys, that's right.
So I just let you guys know that we're moving and it's gonna be kind of close when we're getting there.
It's north of town off 230th Street.
Next to Bill Warren's.
Right next to Orange. Bill's actually in that addition. He's like a 14 lot there. Yeah.
I don't really have anything.
Any new business?
Only thing I have to say is, saw the news at Des Moines the other day. Kelly Garcia stepped down and resigned from the Department of Health and Human Services. He's gone. I think a lot of people here in Mills County are pretty pleased with that. Larry Johnson, who's the head of Department of Inspections and Appeals, who then helped lead the realignment effort to become the Department of Inspections, Appeals, and Licensing, is now named the head of DHHS. So I know Larry Johnson pretty well. He was the successor for DIA after my grandfather. He's a good guy. I think we can work with him, but just watching to see what happens with public health funding, Health and Human Services Department. So I've been talking to Caitlin on that, but I think it's a good step to have somebody new at the helm in that department. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:51.
Motion is second to adjourn at 9:51. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, we are adjourned.
Enjoy listening to your meetings. Very informational.
I can be a.
Thanks, Mark.
Sign on your name.
Yeah, I had a beard until last night.